What's up guys, Season 2 of Delta Force was just revealed and it was a ton of stuff. With the reveal coming in at over 2 hours, the developer live stream was packed full of great info, like the reveal of the BlackHawk Down campaign, introduction of a new operator, new weapons, multiple new maps, and the streamlining of in-game systems. However, while the devs are bringing a ton of great content with Season 2 Starfall, they also unveiled some stuff that I rather they didn't waste time on, like weapon charms that are so complicated they needed a whole flowchart to explain how to earn them. And to get it out of the way now, despite all their promises, controller support and consoles weren't mentioned once, but they did mention that mobile is being delayed until summer of this year. But if you want the full story on that situation, check out this video instead. As for everything else, like I said, it was a ton of content. So from new weapons to new movement abilities, I'll have it all time-stamped below so we can power through. Be sure to comment anything I missed, hit subscribe, and let's jump into it. Right off the bat, let's hit the basics. Season 2 titled Starfall releases January 18th with 3 new weapons, 2 new maps, 2 new gadgets, 1 new operator, a battle pass, 2 environment reworks, and dozens of new features. These 2 new maps are titled Knife's Edge, an infantry map set atop Zero Dam with a focus on narrow, linear gunplay, and also Trainwreck, a medium to large scale map that reminds me a lot of Operation Firestorm from Battlefield 3. Trainwreck features a lot of open space with some of the game's longest sightlines and largest vehicle play spaces. But thankfully with both maps, the developers really showed an understanding of map design where they spoke about ensuring players don't get bottled up on Knife's Edge, and also giving infantry players areas to hide from vehicles on Trainwreck. In fact, the devs talked a lot about the issues I've had with recent Battlefield maps where players don't have much agency and are either trapped by vehicles, caught in open areas, or jammed into endless grinds. The maps are looking pretty solid, and with 2 brand new maps coming at the same time, someone should probably check on the devs over at Battlefield. I doubt they believe their eyes. Next, Season 2 will be introducing 3 new weapons, an assault rifle, SMG, and LMG. The devs didn't talk much about these weapons, regardless it's a nice addition to see, and will help freshen up the experience. Alongside the weapons, we're also getting 2 new gadgets, which are nothing crazy, a set of smoke and high explosive grenade launchers. And for the final big ticket item, we're getting a brand new operator named Sinova. Their whole gimmick is essentially that they carry a ballistic shield which can be deployed into a large standing wall. In addition, they also feature multiple traits like razor traps that slow enemies, extra body armor, and a grappling hook which can pull enemies in for the kill. Sinova seems pretty strong, especially in tight spaces with his extra armor, the ability to hold ground with his shield, and latch onto enemies with the grappling hook. Now, all these major updates are great on their own, but alongside them will be a series of limited time modes, as well as huge quality of life improvements. First off, Shadow and the devs touted that they've banned tens of thousands of accounts, including 5,000 hardware bans, and over 49,000 players being forced offline over the course of Season 1. This talk of anti-cheat was quickly followed up by their ongoing commitment to netcode and stability, which they said was going to continue getting better and better, but they didn't serve up any hard facts on exactly how they'll be doing it. While I haven't had too many issues on my end, cleaning up netcode, hitreg, and things like server-side collisions will certainly help this game feel more premium before it nears final release. Along with these big announcements, the dev also discussed improvements to vehicle responsiveness, the removal of Battle Pass XP limits, and exciting new redesigns of both Zero Dam and Space City, in yet another move that'll make the Battlefield developers shake in their boots. The map designers over at Team Jade admitted that some operation maps needed work, especially Zero Dam. So while Space City will see some new areas open up, Zero Dam will be getting a massive labyrinth of underground tunnels and industrial facilities which look like they'll create some incredibly tight engagements. This change is to help reduce the engagement rate of players and allow more space to explore instead of being forced into combat directly off spawn. Zero Dam was named their most popular map, so it's great to see the devs are willing to not just create new content, but also update and maintain base game material as well. Now, to wrap up this little discussion on map design and gameplay, we gotta cover what may have been the most random addition to this game yet, which of course is the implementation of Dolphin Diving. Yes, the classic Call of Duty movement tech will be coming in Season 2, which feels a little out of place in my opinion, although it probably won't be featured in operations similar to Tactical Sprint. Now, while it feels like an out-of-place addition, it's also worth noting that Season 2 will feature Capture the Flag and a brand new 3v3v3 arena game mode titled Hot Zone. So it seems like the devs are pushing for Warfare to be a little more sweaty and fast-paced, while Operations stays more complex and tactical. And speaking of operations, the devs finally touched on one of my biggest gripes since the PC alpha, which of course was the information overload and chaotic menus. Team Jade admitted that the quote-unquote workload was too large within the events, and they're committed to reducing the challenges by around 30% while keeping the same rewards. This also goes for the all-important safe boxes, which will now be easier to earn. Thus, events will be a little easier to complete and cross off your to-do list. But to wrap up this part of our review, I'd like to end on Ender's discussion with the devs about MMR or SBMM. Essentially, players have been blaming a skill-based matchmaking system that's been making Warfare super sweaty, while also ruining players' matchmaking times, in some cases taking up to 5 or 6 minutes to find a match on a game that has well over 100,000 players during peak hours. But when Enders brought this up, game director Shadow said flat out that they're not using a hidden MMR to match players based on skill, but instead are rotating players' lobbies so they're constantly being matched with fresh players, thus expanding the search and creating a game of musical chairs. Now, I haven't had too many issues here, probably because I don't play Warfare as much, but it really feels like a solution to a non-existent problem. But drop those comments below and tell me what you think and what your matchmaking has been like. Now, moving away from multiplayer, the last piece of good news is that the BlackHawk Down campaign is sounding like it'll be great. A slow-paced, co-op faithful recreation of the movie brought to life via the Unreal 5 game engine. Game director Shadow even acknowledged it won't be for everyone, because it won't be a Call of Duty shooting gallery, but instead a period-accurate retelling of the game and media that came before it. The way they spoke about it, and from what I've seen, BlackHawk Down may be what I'm hyped for the most. Delta Force is at its best when it slows down, and this will be the pinnacle of that philosophy, with great graphics, gritty combat, and a much more boots-on-the-ground story than anything we've seen in AAA gaming in a while. But to wrap things up, expect a wide range of game engine optimizations, the addition of new things like butterfly knives, and a ton of new cosmetics, including a new series of weapon charms called Turbricks, a system of keychains that's so convoluted that they had to roll out a flowchart to show how players could collect them in a similar way to Mandelbricks, but with a lot more pathways. Overall, there's a ton of new content and optimizations coming, with a lot in the pipeline like night maps and a theater mode. But tell me in the comments below what I missed and what you're excited for. For all things Battlefield and Delta Force, stay tuned and subscribe, and as always, thank you guys for watching.